Good evening and welcome to week 7 of Road America of the European Sprint Series, broadcast live on Total Sim Sport YouTube channel and on iRacing, the world's premier simulator. I am James Parfitt, and very shortly I will be joined by the one, the only Mr. Chris Rowlands this evening. Now, Road America, 4.4 miles, 6.51 kilometers. Corners such as Hurry Downs, Canada Corner and the Carousel. Tonight's racing is going to be absolutely epic with LMP2s, LMP1s and a mix of Fords, Corvettes and Porsches this evening. So that's going to be an interesting one to see how this all pans out. Now, I'll tell you what we do. Let's bring Mr. Rowlands into the booth. Chris, welcome in.
Good evening, James. Good evening, everyone. Hope we're all well. I always look forward to Road America races. This is my favourite track to race on, possibly because it's a bit easier than some of the circuits we've been to. That better reflects my abilities. But we've seen really good racing here in the past, and it does present a really interesting challenge for multi-class because, we said this last time, you'd think it'd be a really easy track to overtake other classes on because of all the long straights, but the whole middle section is really quite difficult and technical to get through side by side with someone. You lose a lot of time. So, we've been talking all this season with the LMP1s about how important it is to pick when to make your overtakes. I think we're going to see the drivers who are most skilled at that. This circuit will really suit them.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting fact because, to be fair, up until a couple of days ago, I think it was actually, to be fair, yeah, it was basically about a day ago, I had never raced on this circuit in multi-class. So I never knew how tricky it actually was. And I did my first full ESS last night. And as you say, going like the start-finish straight is fine. Turn 2, turn 3, not too bad, and the long run down Moraine. But once you get into 5, 6, 7, 8 and round the carousel, and even at times if you're catching a GT3, Chris, going around the kink where you're literally right up behind them, it is a really difficult track to go too wide on. And I think people sort of don't get the real perspective of this track until you actually race it in multi-class, because they just see a long track with long straights and they think it's nice, straightforward and simple.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the case. And also, I mean, it's an advantage in every single track for those drivers who have raced in multiple different classes. So, for example, I think tonight, I'm going to say he's not going to win because it cursed him last time, but Richard Simner, having been in the GTE last time out, is in the LMP2 this time, he'll have a better appreciation for where is right to overtake in the LMP2. So a point we've made in the past around the kink is that the GTEs, they have to commit quite early to making that corner. And so if you're an LMP2 and you dive up the inside because you've got a good run, you're going to kill yourself and the GTE by doing that. You need to hold off and take them after the kink or well before. You can't take them through it. The other one as well is, I think, Side Bushoa. He won here last time out, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make it 2 for 2 at Road America. I know some drivers do prefer some tracks or some styles of tracks, and we see them do better in other places than we would otherwise. And I think, without wishing to denigrate him, Luke Santos, currently on pole in LMP1, is another good example of that. He's not someone we normally see ahead of some of the names we've got in the LMP1 field, so it's going to be an interesting race tonight, I think, as Neil de Becker absolutely smashes that time.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. We had Marco Ricci last season as well in the Corvette, was doing an absolute stellar job, and unfortunately I think there was some tangle. I think it might have been with Roman Verdolivo, to be fair, if I'm not wrong, going around turn 14. But as you say, which allowed the show to come through. But I think, these type of drivers that, to be fair, Chris, we've done this, the whole of last season. We're halfway through, just over halfway through this season. We know these drivers, the top split know these drivers on a Thursday. We know Johan Curbs, we know Luke Santos, Neil de Becker, Cowlotz, Simnar, Bickley, Bashoa, they're all getting to grips with each other's driving style. So they're not as, how can I put it, sort of almost disadvantaged as an official. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, this almost runs like a league at a certain point, because you, like you say, you know the other drivers better. I mean, you've seen it with the LMP1 hub. There's a community of LMP1 drivers. I think it's developing in the TSS broadcasts Discord, and there's a link to join that in the description of the video if you're interested. A few of the drivers will be discussing the race before and after, and if they get killed, probably during. Although, of course, feel free to leave comments in the YouTube chat as well, because we will respond to it. See, we've got Phil Diaz in there tonight, and Jim DeBacker as well, and then RJet Racing. So it's good to see you all. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already, and in just over a minute we'll have the qualifying results for you.
Yeah, we will. It is nice to see Jim in chat. Missed the start for this one. Oh well, at least I can watch some fun action. Yes, mate, you can. Just sit back, grab a drink, get some popcorn, and enjoy the next hours of racing. We got Neil in, so you can cheer on Neil and see how he gets on. We're a bit short. We've had sort of 14 LMP1s at some points this season. We're down to 8 tonight. It's a tricky situation for the LMP1s because they are so much quicker. And if they do hit the back of a GTE going around the kink, it's not so easy to sort of go past them if the GTE has only just gone round the kink, isn't it? Because they naturally run to the left-hand side. They'll naturally run wide. That's what they do.
Yep, that's very true. And also, the thing I've always found tricky at Road America is the straight between the kink and Canada Corner is I mean, it is a straight, but the racing line sort of, it zigzags across it because it's quite a twist. It's quite a twisty straight, and if you're not paying attention, I mean, we saw 2 or 3 weeks ago at Watkins Glen coming up the hill. If you're not paying attention to the cars around you, even if you're not at fault, it leads to accidents. And one other thing I've noticed that I think will be interesting is we've got a very big LMP2 field tonight. 17 drivers. Expect some carnage in the LMP2 field. That's all I'm going to say on that front.
Well, Chris, the grid is up. Why don't you do the normal Thursday day and run us through the grid this evening?
Well, it's an unusual name on pole because he doesn't often qualify, but he's showing the raw pace he's got. Jan Curbs is on pole, and alongside him, an absolutely massive 4 thousandths of a second behind is Simon Cowlott. So it'll be interesting to see that drag race to the line. Third place, we've got Neil de Becker alongside Antonio Navarro. And then going back another row, we've got Jake Carey and Luke Santos. And then our back row is actually our 2 lowest rated LMP1 drivers, although they're still 2,500 I rating. So it's not as though they're slouches. And that is Owen Price in 7th and Sam DeWitt in 8th. And then on pole in the large LMP2 field, we've got Francesco Panetta, who's done a 149.671. And another one where look how close it is amongst the top four there. Less than a tenth separating all of them. Joop de Ligt is in second. He is the number one rated driver here tonight, so it'll be interesting to see his jump off the line on the dirty side of the track. Daniel Lourenco is in third. Alongside him is Rui Quiroz. And then we've got Owen Carroll in fifth with Stuart Bickley in sixth. Luca Fioravanti in seventh alongside David Henger. And then we've got the aforementioned Richard Simner in ninth in car number 17. It'll be interesting to see if he can make places up from the start. He is only a second behind the pole, and that's a very quick pole time. So it's not as though these drivers aren't quick themselves. Rounding out top 10, we've got Mikhail Matusek. And then behind them, we've got Just Baumeister and Thomas Dyard. And then going into 13th, we've got Jean-Francois Heleguach, and I apologise to Jean if he's listening. Fabio Bassetti is in 14th, and then rounding out the LMP2 field, the last three, we've got Raimondo Ricci, Roman Pierce, and Cesar Cabral. Unusually, I think everyone's set a time so far. That's not something we often see. So thankfully, we've got a couple of GTEs bucking that trend. Not, however, Jorge Diaz on pole with a 2-minute .620. But again, look how close second place is behind him. Jerome Charvet. He's less than half a tenth behind. Marco Ricci in third, and Said Bouchoa, last season's winner here, is in fourth, followed by Miguel Arruda and Jorge Carmo, fifth and sixth. And then Mark Van Tor and Ariel Pacho, these are all within a second of the lead, these top eight. Adam Cox in ninth, and then Neo Lecour and Jack Wells did not set a time. And that is our whole grid. And possibly Luke Santos has either opted to pit start or been hit during the formation lap, because he is already in the pit lane. So that's a shame.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Luke. It looks like he's just jumped to the pits, unfortunately, and we'll have to see if we can find out if anything actually happened there. But as you can see, we've got the long whole lap pace lap this evening, Chris. A whole lap at Road Atlanta. It does take an absolute age, but it should be an absolutely epic race, guys. So as I say, if you are here for the first time, please hit that thumbs up, please hit that subscribe button, and turn on them bells for all notifications when TSS are live. Now the championship standings, currently we've got Simon Klaus in first place on 101. Jan Curbs is back in the LMP1 tonight, so he's on second place. Jim DeBacker in third, Luke Santos fourth, Daniele Pizzo in fifth, Pascal Nelly's in sixth, Dominic Englick in seventh, Neil DeBacker in eighth, Amber Hawkins ninth, and Lars Meyer rounds out our top 10 in LMP1. In the LMP2s, we've got Stuart Bickley in first place, Owen Carroll second, Luca Papp third, Marcus Deck in fourth, Fraser Williamson and Michael Romanidis and Ross Woodford and Paolo Munez are tied 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Just Baumeister in 9th and Riccardo Giroli in 10th. And in the GTEs, we've got Jean-Luc Denayer in first place, Jerome Charvet second, Sven Haas third, Philip Meyer fourth, William Barriviera in fifth, Anton Vatrudiev in sixth, Claudio Mack in seventh, Saeed Bashoa in eighth, Lydon Lee in ninth, and last season's winner Roman Verdolivo is in 10th place. So there you go. We're just heading round the carousel, so we've got another sort of 45 seconds or so. Chris, what are we expecting? Where are we expecting it?
Well, I guess we're going to... I'll be honest, no idea. We're just going to have to wait to find out.
That's the first time you've actually come out. You haven't got some form of comment.
I'd rather not make something out.
He's silent. He's silent, guys. He's silent.
He's found a way.
Yeah, I'm going to put my money on turn 5, the tricky left-hander, partly because I come a cropper to that in the 7 o'clock race. Kind of outbroke myself going down the hill and ended up turning the corner and then ceremoniously hitting the wall. So I'm going to say turn 5, possibly turn 3, depending on how patient people want to be. But it's going to be an interesting one this evening. As you say, Chris, that we have got a large LMP2 field of 17 cars. So that's going to be a very, very interesting race.
If I'm in a GT, I'm going to be very nervous about that giant LMP2 field tonight. And that's not to denigrate the quality of the LMP2 field. It's just when they're congested and they will be fighting with each other, that's when the issues start.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's going to be them issues at the beginning. Of see Jan Curbs just come round the last corner. The pace car's going to peel off now. Guys, tonight's ESS Week 7 is going to be underway with Jan Curbs out in front, taking the lead as we go up over the hill. Here is Jan now. Simon Cowlotz, I believe, tucked in behind him as Jan heads down into turn 1. He's still got the lead. Cowlotz in second, Neil DeBacker in third, Navarro fourth, Carey in fifth. But there is Owen Price in sixth place. Your LMP2 field now. Panetta out in front, Lit second, Lorenko third, Carroll fourth, Quiros fifth, Bickley's in sixth in his normal yellow livery there. But as you see, we've got to move on the inside. That's car number 3. Oh, there's a car. Bissetti's in. That's Carroll overtaking Quiros. In the GTEs now, we've got Diaz closely followed by Chave, Carmo in the middle, and Lecour sitting in there as well. We've got Mark Van Tor in the Corvette with Marco Ricci in third place. Apart from Bissetti, Chris, fairly clean.
Yep, although you can already see Panetta's defending there, and that's going to bunch the field up. Look how close they all are.
Yeah, there's somebody running wide there down into turn 5. Couldn't see who that was, unfortunately, but somebody went absolutely on. Straight on in turn 5. We've got Panetta, Lick, Lorenko, Carroll, Quiros, Bickley, Simnar, and Baumeister. So Simnar's in 7th, Bickley 6th, Baumeister 8th. So it's going to be interesting to see. Them guys obviously know each other from previous races, Chris, so it's going to be interesting to see what them three can do.
Yeah, you almost wonder if there's going to be team orders. Not that they're on a team, but I sometimes find, if you know the drivers who are around, I'm far more likely to do nice things for them if it's going to help my own race as well. But Jan Curbs already got a bit of a jump here. He's nearly a second clear of Cowlotz, which I'm surprised to see. I mean, we know Jan is quick, but so is Cowlotz, and so is DeBacker back in third. So, surprised, as David Henger looks like he's had another incident. He's now behind the entire GTE field. Yeah,
he ran wide down into turn 5, Chris. It was him who's gone off down into turn 5. There's Halle there. As you say, I'm just going to call him Jan. I feel like I'm going to butcher his surname, so I'm not going to carry on with that. I'll call him Jan Francois because Jean-Francois, sorry, because I don't want to picture his name there, Chris. And, he's sitting down in 10th place in the LMP2s at the moment. He's got Thomas Diard in front. Roman Pierce behind him as they're heading down into turn 1. Going to be hard on the brakes at the free cone. Getting that LMP2 car stopped now. Chris, 57 minutes remaining. Now, obviously, from my own personal running of this track, it's about 30 to 35 minutes for LMP2s going into the pits. Now, the GTEs, they're going to be around about 40 minutes, do you think, or around about the same kind of time?
Can hang out a little bit longer than that. They're certainly of the 3 classes the one that lasts the longest, and yeah, because there's a lot of acceleration and full throttle. As we look at Helguar making a move here, or is that Roman Pierce? Sorry, he's got it on the inside, but there's so little grip coming up the hill here. Is he going to commit to it? This is very good driving for both
Pierce
of them.
And Jean-Francois there going down up into turn 6, heading round into 7 now. They're coming up onto the tricky left-hander of 8. They are flashing. He's trying to get past there. Roman Pierce takes the inside line on the run out to Carousel. Are they going to be too wide going round the Carousel? They're not. Pierce tucks in behind, but it looks like he's got a better run. As you see on board with him now, he's got a better run. Is he going to be looking down on the inside on the kink? Or will he settle in behind him as he goes all the way around? He's going to settle over through the kink he goes. He's got a lot better, more speed. He's too wide. Too wide going down into Canada corner. Is this going to work? Are these guys going to be nice to each other? That's Roman Pierce up another place there, Chris. He got the job done into 10th. But, it looks like Jean-Francois has got the run on the coming back down again. I think this could, to be fair though, Roman Pierce got the job done. But I think, Chris, going down that start-finish straight, Jean-Francois is going to be looking at making that move back again because the draft is so strong.
Yes, it depends on just how much downforce Pierce has got in his car versus Jean-Francois. But that was good driving from the both of them. But the main beneficiary of all of that is 9th place Thomas Diard, who was only half a second ahead of them, and now he's about 2 and a bit seconds ahead of them. That's the price you pay for going for a big battle like that. And of course, I don't know if you can see in the timer screens, but Luke Santos in the LMP1, he's in 22nd overall. He's fighting his way through the field. He's got to try and get through all of these LMP1s as he comes through. So that's going to throw a real spanner in the works in this early stage.
Yeah, too. So we got Owen Carroll here, Rui Carros going into turn 5, down into the GTEs. Ariel Pacho and Miguel Arruda side by side going down into turn 1. He's hard on the brakes there, round the corner. Car number 36 is Ruda with Pacho out in front of him. Behind him is LaCour, and then we've got Jack Wells behind that. But it looks like here Ruda and Pacho are very close together. 55 minutes remaining. There is Charvet currently out in front from Diaz. He's got about a 1.6 second lead. Now, is this a track though, Chris, where we don't see many Fords? I think, to be fair, we just got Charvet. And our very own Sean Cranleigh-Swash, who drives the Fords that I know of. Is this a Ford-suited track, though? Because normally it's Porsche-dominated.
I think to a certain extent with Jerome, it's personal choice to be driving the Ford. I suspect, and again, you sort of see it with the field having almost entirely Porsches, as you say. The Porsche is probably the car that you can extract the most speed out of. But if you're more comfortable in the Ford, you're going to be quicker in the Ford. It's not exactly that hamstrung. But I guess it's just not a fashionable car, but it's an absolutely gorgeous car, and it's nice to see it leading a class for once. So hopefully I haven't cursed Jerome.
No, let's not curse Jerome. No, we don't want to do that. But we've got Jan Kurbs, Carl Lotz and Neil De Backer are literally a second from first and third in the LMP1 field. Carl Lotz has pulled back nearly a second on Kurbs as they head round the carousel for lap 4. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, Carlos is obviously purely dominated this LMP1 field this year. Obviously, Jan Kurbs took a little break on the run up to Daytona 24, jumped in the LMP2. Back in the LMP1, we've seen him qualify for the first time this season. Normally, as we say, he doesn't. He's normally down in 6th or 7th. Interesting to see, do we think, though, Carlos is going to be able to... we know Carlos is quick, but we also know Kurbs is quick. What's it going to take for Carlos to get past Kurbs? Do you think Kurbs has got to make a mistake? Or do you think Carlos has really just got to put the laps in?
It depends on the driver's approach to racing in general. For me, I would be biding my time just to see what happens. There's no point fighting for this victory and costing all this time with the fight when there's still 53 minutes to go and a pit stop and all of the traffic. However, some drivers would much prefer to have that track position and try and build that lead. I mean, Jan and Simon are both going to have the confidence that they've got the pace to pull ahead in their own abilities. So they're both going to want to be in the lead now. And it's all, we can just be grateful we're going to get some good racing. And Neil De
Backer, look at the move. He's going
also there as well.
Yeah, taking the outside line down into turn 5. Is that going to work for Neil? I don't think hugging that inside line for Carlos really kind of does help there. And that's from my own personal experiences of that. Trying to take that outside line round that corner is very difficult. Neil letting him know he's there though, Jim. So Neil's doing really well up into 3rd place at the moment. Lex keeping pace with Carlos. Something tells me Charvet will be fast in anything, says Phil Diaz in chat. It is possible. It is possible, but we are used to Charvet in the Ford. I've got to be honest, for the last season and this season, we have seen him in the Ford. So Charvet is definitely quick in the Ford, but so is Neil De Backer. Coming up to the back of Simon Carlos. They've lost Jan Kurbs. Jan Kurbs has cleared the GTE a little bit quicker than these two. That's opened up literally about half a second. So we're not talking miles, but we are talking enough as they go down on the inside of Canada corner. De Backer's, you can see it now, Chris, can't you? De Backer's trying to clear that traffic as fast as Carlos because he needs to stay with Carlos because one car in the middle of them in the wrong place of the track and it could just all go wrong.
Yep, and Miguel Arruda there being rewarded for his spatial awareness because he gave the space into Canada corner, but Ariel Pacho, who was ahead of him, did get pushed out wide ever so slightly. But if you're just maybe a bit more aware of when those LMP1s are coming through, he might have been able to adjust better. Instead he went wide and he's lost the place to Arruda, so Arruda's back up into 5th. And Pacho is back into 6th in the GTE. So again, not that Pacho did anything wrong because he's entitled to stay on the track and not be pushed off it. But sometimes just having that extra awareness can pay dividends.
Yeah, as we see De Backer looking again down the outside of 5 up the hill. He's looking for a run at Carlos. It's not going to be a normal place to take him into turn 6 as he heads round the little kink of 7, the fast right-hander of 7. Jake Carey there having a little bit of the trouble with traffic on the GTEs. Car number 12 is Jake Carey. He's got Navarro in front of him and Owen Price behind. It's Navarro he's trying to keep up with there as they're trying to go past the leader of the GTE, Charvet, but Carey doesn't clean it. And this is what I mean, Christy. If he doesn't clear that car, he's lost a tenth or 2 tenths over Navarro in front. So that's why I think we saw that really over-aggressive driving from Neil to try and keep up with Simon, because he has to. There was no choice.
Yeah, that's the thing, and this is a problem I've always had with multi-class racing. I'm a very meek driver, and sometimes you need to be assertive because you will just lose time behind the slower cars. Obviously, no one wants to kill anyone, and you're certainly not driving with that in mind, but you just have to signal early what you're doing, but go for those moves, because the time does add up. It really, really does, especially in the infield section of this track. You can just lose so much time if you don't commit to making those moves.
Yeah, well, Simnar has cleared Bickley, so Simnar's up into 6th now. Unfortunately, Use Baumeister's down into 15th, so it'd be interesting to see what happened to Use there. There he is in the car.
It was something on lap 1. He was actually up 4 places at one point.
He was in 8th, wasn't he? It was behind Simnar, Bickley, and then it was Use as well. So it'd be interesting to see what Use could do and see if he can get back through the field. Heading obviously with Jan Curbs out in front, Carlot 2nd, the back of 3rd, Navarro 4th, Carey in 5th place in the LMP1. You can see there Neil de Backer climbing all over the back of Simon Cowlitz as they head up the hill into the tricky left-hander of 8. Here we go. Neil's got to settle in again. I don't think the sensible places, but obviously, as we know, but the LMP1s have got their boosts and stuff, but if you were Neil de Backer, I kind of would sit there. I wouldn't try and I would look down the kink. Obviously, everybody does, but I would look down into turn. Oh, that's Carroll and Panetta, I believe. Is that Panetta into the wall there? Has he got hit? There is Carroll.
I think Panetta, who's flying down the timing screens.
Yeah,
we
Panetta
heard it.
There. Carroll and Panetta coming together in turn 1, I believe. Panetta on the right-hand side, Carroll on the left.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no, that was Lit. Lit hit him.
That was Youp Delete.
Yeah. Youp Delete hit him. And unfortunately, that put Panetta down into the gravel, all the way down the field into 12th place. Not a move that you would expect to see, Chris. I don't think, from Youp Delite's point of view, that there was that much space there.
I don't think Panetta will be very happy with that. And we do see quite a lot of incidents into turn 1. It's not really an overtaking spot because it's such a light braking zone. You would need to be alongside and ahead on the inside to really have a hope of making that move stick. As Cowlots and all 3 of them, yeah,
Cowlots, Curbs and de Backer still all together as they're heading up the hill now into turn 6, taking a left-hander of 6, and then we're going to go a little kink to right to 7. Full throttle round here on the run down into turn 8. The tricky left-hander as they go down there now. We've still got Curbs, Cowlots and de Backer all together, not really making, like, you would expect kind of some action, but these guys are experienced there, Chris. I don't think they're going to be maybe as Youp Delete and Francesco Panetta as we see. Oh, did he get it? He saved it.
What a save.
Take a bow there, sir. Literally, Neil de Backer sending that car sideways absolutely saves it. But do you get what I mean about the driver style, though? These guys, they are aggressive, but they're not, do you get what I mean? Panetta are lit aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, Youp has apologised in-game chat on the text, so he can text and drive, which we don't encourage you to do in real life, but Cowlots is going for the move on the inside here. Yeah,
Cowlots takes the run down into turn 1 from Curbs. That's a lot cleaner overtake, and that's what you expect down into turn 1. That's really what you've got to get done, isn't it? You've got to get that job done early, so it allows you for that clean run down into 3 to be able to take that racing line back and get a clean run down into 3 as they're heading round down into 5. Now, if you're wondering where 4's gone, it's about now. That's what they class as turn 4. Just a slight left-hander for the run down into 5. Curbs there. Is he losing another place to Neil? He is in the Porsche. Neil's in the Audi, but Jan Curbs is quick pretty much in both of them cars. So it'll be interesting to see with 45 minutes remaining what he does now and whether or not he can stay with Simon Cowlots.
Yep, and I hope Neil de Backer hasn't pushed himself a bit too hard there, because you do not want to lose touch with cowlots and curbs, because they, when they get in the groove, they can just shoot away. And Neil is a very quick driver in his own right, so the fact that he's struggling to keep up at times really is a testament to the pace of these top guys. But just a word for Roman Pearce in the LMP2 field. He started in the 16th within the LMP2 class. He is up 10 places to 6th, and that is not going to be just from people that have crashed out. That is from pace as well. I mean, his fastest lap time is in the 150s. When you compare that to everyone around or below him, he is quicker than them all. He's quicker than Rui Queiroz in 4th as well, so he's one that's worth looking out for, just to see if he can maybe, as the race develops, if he can get past Richard Simner as well. Maybe he's got some he's got some real places he can make up here.
Well, just had a look back through, and Stuart Bickley's gone down into 13th, but he did flash up that he'd had a crash, so it would be interesting to see. Chris, take us through the Bickley incident.
Oh dear, he's just lost it, and then has been sort of yeeted into the sky by, I believe that was number 20. And that's not what we want to see. Fabio Bassetti, who's also in the pit, so it wouldn't surprise me if that is who the driver was. It's a very easy place to lose it, that penultimate corner, because it's a slightly odd camber. Oh, this is a lot of cars. Let's talk about this first.
Oh, yeah, Yank. Oh, there's contact. Contact there. That is Luca Fioravanti there in car number 7. There was contact there with the recovering Francesco Panetta. And we've got Jean-Francois behind that as well. We got an LMP1 who cleared the field, but we have got these 3. This is going to be a very spicy battle, I think.
Oh, I think the LMP1 has just uncleared the field. I think that dust we saw was Antonio Navarro, who had pitted on lap 8, so he's already come in for his pit stop. This was his out lap. Come out in the middle of the LMP2s, slightly got involved in the turn 5 shenanigans, and now he's off the track. So it's not been a great outlap from Antonio so far.
Yeah, but here is Delit and Lorenko there. First and second, 43 minutes remaining as they're heading up over the hill. There is third and fourth behind them in this battle. Carroll and Queiroz behind them on the run down. There they are, they're very close together. That is Queiroz tucked up behind Carroll. Is he going to make the move down into turn 1? We've said this before. He's got to be alongside or clear because you're not going to make it stick otherwise. And there is it. Oh, here we go. There's a lot of cars there as they come down now. Jan Kurb's got Neil de Backer. Literally 0.18. Cowlots is clearing the traffic, and I think that's the difference. That's why Cowlots has cleared out 2 seconds, Chris, because he's clearing and catching that traffic in a lot more suitable places.
Yep, I mean, it's going to be a mixture of skill as we see a GTE going wide. That's the number 23, I think, Neo Lecour. Some of it's skill, some of it is, as you say, just where they come on the track that they can get past them, because if you catch them in the wrong place, you can't do anything about it, and they're still battling as we come into turn 5.
Yeah, Neil de Backer taking a very wide line. Oh, I thought that was Fioravanti there going to put it on the inside of Neil de Backer, but they've got the run. Now he's still tucked up behind Jan Kurbs as they're heading down into the tricky turn 8. Left-hander, Carlos has cleared the traffic. Neil is literally sticking to Kurbs' bumper there, Chris, and just following him through on every piece of traffic that he physically can, can't he? He's got to try and stay with Jan Kurbs, because as you say, you lose it and you get a Carlos 1.8 seconds down the road gap.
Yeah, but the other thing they're going to have to consider is, if I were these 2 drivers now, I would avoid fighting with each other at all costs. Work together, try to bridge. No, don't do this. You want to catch Simon up. This is just going to cost you more time.
Well, if they haven't done, no. They have to put an announcement in chat. Neil, Jan, stop arguing, guys. Come on, get up there. We need to get back there with Simon. Neil de Backer nearly stuck. Oh, there was a crash there. There was a crash there that we just briefly flicked on. Who is that? That's used Balmies to going through. Who was that in the gravel?
I think Jean-Francois.
Jean-Francois. Yeah, he's in the pits there with Busetti still in there as well. As you see on the run down. Oh,
yeah, that's number 7.
Tucking up, unfortunately, there.
Collecting Miguel Arruda.
Yeah, that was not the only one that was involved in that incident, unfortunately. Matuska's in there as well. Jean-Francois is in the pits. I bet he's not going to be a happy chappy. Jan Curbs is going past Charvet with Neil de Backer still tucked up on the inside, but we've got all three classes in this little bit of track. And as we've seen previously, Chris, it doesn't always work when you've got the three classes in one, about 10 meters of the track, does it?
No, it really is what separates the absolute elite from the merely very good, is their ability to deal with the fact you've got all these cars in such a small space on what is the hardest part of the circuit, really, that turn 5, 6, 7 complex, because there is really only one quick line. And you can see who's benefited from it, and it is mostly Simon Cowlitz. And as quick as Jerome Charvet has been, just by the nature of where traffic's catching up, he's got Diaz and Ricky right behind him now. And that is another, we've got we've got three-way battles for the lead in all classes. This is what we want to see.
Cowlitz there going up the inside of Carroll. Oh, that was close from Carroll. MA Justice in chat. PCS and TMR working together. Nah, don't think so. And so there's Jan Curbs and Neil de Backer there in second and third, respectively, in the LMP1s. But here we go. There goes Jan Curbs again, going past Owen Carroll. Neil de Backer's got to try and get that job done into turn one to stick with Jan. But he's had to take a tighter line, which has lost him a few attempts onto Jan Curbs, as we see Hugh DeLitt and Lorenko still having their own battle with Simon Cowlitz trying to come through in the LMP1. Oh, was that just a miscommunication there by Hugh DeLitt and Simon Cowlitz? That could have cost Cowlitz dearly.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think it wasn't deliberate, because that doesn't benefit anyone. Well, it maybe benefits second place in both classes, but what we don't want to see is the leader of the two prototype classes killing each other with just 20 minutes on the clock. That's not ideal.
No, not ideal. We've got just under 40 minutes remaining. Charvet there. He's got Diaz tucked right up behind him in the Porsche, but we think Charvet's lost a lot of time to traffic there, Chris. I think he's made a concerted effort to get out of the way almost for the LMP1s and LMP2s. Just unfortunately, that's allowed Diaz to come right back up. Now, is this where we're going to see Charvet now attacking as best he physically can? I believe there's an LMP2 involved in this GTE battle and an LMP1. So this is two LMP1s. So that's the second Porsche Sander Witt, I believe, involved. And he's got Owen Price in front. So I'm going to put my money on it's going to be DeWitt and Owen Price. And car number 13.
Off goes Matusek.
Yeah, give him the Matusek. Just runs it in deep. And there you go. That's cleared. That's give Diaz half a second back now to Charvet. So does Matusek just goes in? I think it comes around and doesn't go around the carousel too much. Yep.
Yeah, just carrying a bit too much speed, and I mean, you're already going too quickly, but the second you're going off there, there's nothing you can do. That's the only place you can go, and it's not a case of lack of ability, it's just pushing a bit too hard. We've seen how desperate these cars are to keep up with their competitors, and you really want to get around that lap traffic, but sometimes it's just not possible to get it to stick, and that's why the drivers at the top of these classes are so good, because they can just do it so consistently.
I do wonder if Diaz in the GTE may have had a part, not had a part on his own right or on purpose, but going around the carousel, they naturally drift to the left. So if Diaz has gone around there, drifted to the left, the car's going to close, the door's going to close on Matusek, and he's going to have nowhere to go apart from where we saw him, Chris, isn't he? That outside line round the GTE is always dangerous because they run that way. You know what I mean? It's got to be a little bit more sensible with that little run that he had coming up to the kink. He probably could have come off the carousel and made it a little more straightforward for himself.
It could also be a hardware thing. So if you're on triple monitors, you've got a lot better awareness of how much space is alongside you. Whereas I race with a single monitor, I have to leave a lot more space to be safe, because I just don't know where the edge of the track is necessarily going to be, or where the car alongside me is necessarily going to be. And I've had incidents in the past exactly like the one we just saw from Matusek, and yes, that is driver error at the end of the day, but if I had the extra context of my peripheral vision, perhaps it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Since I've gone up to 3 monitors, I think, generally it has kind of helped my driving. However, racing against other people probably hasn't helped my driving, because, we can't control everybody on track, unfortunately. But we have got Jake Carey now sitting 17 seconds. He's kind of in that middle field that we talk about. 10-second gap to Neil de Backer up front, and he's got about 17 seconds back to Owen Price. So Jake Carey's just kind of running his own race, 4th place, doing his thing, clearing the traffic when he needs to. Not really having much going on track. He's just going about his business, really, Chris, isn't he? He's just out for a Sunday drive on a Thursday evening.
Yeah, and I think this is where, unfortunately, I can understand why the LMP1 field is as small as it is, because in these smaller fields, once the field settles down, if you're in that mid-pack, you're kind of just hot lapping for 50 minutes. And I mean, Jake Carey, Owen Price, Sam DeWitt, they're all... I mean, Sam DeWitt is only 2.5 seconds behind Owen Price, but they're not really battling with each other. And I mean, yes, there is an element of strategy in that you have to try and manage your boost to make sure you get round the lap traffic as you get to it, and avoiding it in general. And they're not easy cars to drive either. But I think I can understand why we've got 17 cars in the LMP2 field by comparison, because there's battles pretty much throughout the field. And I mean, again, I don't want to bleat on about him, but Roman Pearce he's got ahead of Simner, and since doing that, he's pulled out 3 seconds on him. So he's only 9 seconds off the lead. This is someone to keep an eye out for later in the race. And last lap, he was a second quicker than Joop de Leet, although I will imagine some of that is down to traffic. But he has really got the pace, and it was his fastest lap of the race for Roman Pearce, and only half a hundredth, off of the fastest lap in LMP2. So yeah, pretty good pace for Roman Pearce. Qualifying didn't do him justice.
He's got to be looking at trying to get moving now a little bit, even just a little bit more to the left. That would have allowed the LMP1 behind him. But as you can see, he's flashing like absolutely crazy. Roman Pearce is slowing the LMP1 up. We've just had Carlos it's gone off track. We're just going to see if we can see the replay of what's happened. Here he is on track going into turn 1. Runs slightly. Oh
dear.
Oh, that is not good from Carlos there. I think that's going to be jumping to the pits, that car. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that back. He's still in the car. He's still going. He's now down. Nope, he's pitted now. So he's in the pits. Here's Simon Cowlett. So he had a further incident down the track. And here we go. Look, this is what happens. Go down into turn 5. Yeah. He's parked the car, jumped to the pits, not good enough to run, and there you go. Simon Carlos is in the pits from the lead of LMP1. Yeah, let's go and have a look through the standings. Chris, do you want to run us through with 32 minutes remaining?
Yeah, we're just nearly at the halfway point, and we've got Jan Kurz is currently leading. He's on screen now in the number 6 car, just coming around Canada corner. He might not be leading for long though, because that's Neil de Backer. He's caught right up, and yeah, this is going to be a really spicy battle for the lead between the two of them. So it's currently Curbs following de Backer, but we'll keep you tuned on that. 3rd place is now Jake Carey. He's the main beneficiary of the Cowlarts incident we've just seen, because he's now on the podium running a pretty solid, quiet race. I know we've just jinxed him as he's just punted off a GTE, but luckily for Jake Carey, he's fine. That poor GTE is now stranded. He's apologised in voice chat in race, so it's a multi-class miscommunication. But he's in 3rd, slightly damaged front wing. Owen Price is in 4th, so he won't know that, but that's something for him to capitalise on. But Owen Price has got Sam DeWitt to worry about. He is only a second and a half behind now in the number 35, so there's a nice little battle brewing up there. And Antonio Navarro, he is down 2. And this is de Backer going past Curbs.
No, it's not up to turn 5. He's going to go up the hill. 2 wide over sticks. Curbs has got it placed. I think Neil took the run down into 5s, gone in deep, couldn't hold it, and that allowed Jan Curbs back through as they're heading in. Here we go on the run down into 5. Is this going to be? Did he go to that outside line again? He did. He squeezes past the GTE just to outbrakes himself there, Chris. Look, doesn't hold it. Oh, just squeezes it, and Jan Curbs got the exit as they run up to 6 there, Chris.
Yeah, so, he's carrying too much speed through the corner that he can actually cope with, because you can see he's struggling. He's really understeering into the exit, and he just can't get the power down quickly enough to keep ahead of Curbs. And that's the second time we've seen it. And obviously, Curbs will then have the inside line for the next corner, and we know how confident Jan is on the brakes. And that turn 6, you have to be confident, because it's uphill, it's on a camber, it's a weird corner. It really separates the top drivers out there. Yeah, we can go through the LMP2. So after that mini punt earlier, I say mini punt, it was a full-on punt. Joop de Leet is currently in the lead, and he is again only just ahead of Lorenko in 2nd. We've not really mentioned Lorenko. As we have the number 35 of De Witt coming round, he's going to split them for now. Let's hope we don't see any incidents here. But Lourenco in second, going a bit wide there, and then Owen Carroll in third. He's up 2 because he started 5th, but Rui Queiroz only a second behind him, and we've been mentioning throughout the race Roman Pearce in 5th. He is up 11. He is 4 seconds behind Rui Queiroz, but again, keep an eye on that because he is lapping very quickly. The ever-reliable Richard Simner is in 6th, and I think for car number 17, he'll be quite happy with that so far, but I think there's still more to come. Recovery drive for Francesco Panetta, now in 7th, but he's working his way back up. Doesn't seem to be suffering from damage too much, because he's just set his fastest lap of the race. And then a further 7 seconds down the road, we've got car number 7 of Luca Fioravante, who has also been involved in his fair share of incidents. And then we've got Raimondo Ricci and Cesar Cabral in 9th and 10th. They're up 6 and 7 places respectively. And then after his first lap, busy first lap, it's been a pretty quiet race for Jus Baumeister, who is now in 11th. And then the last running LMP2 is David Henger, who might be on an alternative strategy, having pitted on lap 7, but only having been stopped for 25 seconds. So keep an eye out for David Henger. We don't know where he's going to be. As we see, James, I think there's been some more stuff going on between De Backer and Curbs.
Yeah, we're just going to try and have a look now and see. Neil has got through past Jan Curbs for the second time. Did he hold it this time going down into turn 1? He's got the line. He takes the outside line. It's a very dangerous line, but we have seen it work. And there you go. That is Neil De Backer past Jan Curbs going down into turn 1. That's the problem, I think, with a tight line on that turn 1, is you do have to slow it up a lot more than the guy on the outside. So I think Neil's learned his lesson now. The only question is, did he hold it down into turn 5? It looked like he did. So he's out in front in the LMP1s with Jan Curbs in second and Jake Carey in third.
It was good driving for both of them. I think Curbs let him have that a bit. He probably could have been more aggressive, but it's the best for both of them that he wasn't. Sam De Witt has pitted in the LMP1s as well, so hopefully that is just a planned pit stop. We are in the pit window now, so it should well be, but we haven't taken you through the GTEs yet, and we wouldn't want the GTEs to think we've forgotten about them, because we are also having an excellent battle here. Jerome Charvet, the lone representative for Ford, he's in the lead, has stayed in the lead pretty much since the start. Jorge Diaz, who was on pole, he's in second. He wants that pole position back, and this race is far from over. Diaz in the number 15, Charvet in the number 14, so they're not separated on any metric really. The only metric that really separated them is that Charvet's fastest lap is half a second quicker, which is a pretty big gap to have for a fastest lap, especially when you've not had the draft. Let's also not discount the Chevrolet of Marco Ricci in third. You can see him in the background there. So we've got 3 different brands on the podium at the moment in the GTE field. That is what we like to see. It's a shame there's no BMWs today, but we'll take what we can get at the moment for that. But yeah, this battle is a 3-way really, although Ricci is just biding his time. And then Ariel Pacho, who's had his off-track earlier, he's back up to 4th, up 4 places from his start. And then he's kind of in a race of his own at the moment with that little bit of damage. Neo Leclerc is in 5th now. He's up 5, so he's having a quietly solid race, but he is in a battle with Said Bishoa, who has had his fair share of incidents, because he is down in 5th, although I believe we've just had a GTE possibly towed to the pits. Someone certainly is towed to the pits. Yeah, Marco Ricci, I've just cursed him because he's in the pits. So he's possibly been involved in an incident. Mark Vantor is in the next Chevrolet. He is in 6th, and then we're sort of into the forgotten zone of drivers that have had incidents. So Adam Cox, who has been in the pits for, I believe, 2 minutes. So he's obviously been involved in an incident at some point, although he's still up 2 positions. So he started 9th, so not the end of the world. And I believe Miguel Arruda is also still running, but he is a couple of laps down.
No, I believe we're going to have a look at that Ricky incident now. As it goes round the kink, does he just run wide? Yeah, the kink runs wide, claims a victim, and that victim, unfortunately, is Marco Ricci in the Corvette. Goes from side to side, takes out the barriers as he comes round. There you go, you can see him loose on the grass, hits that side, goes across the track, hits that side, comes back along the track, and parks it on the left-hand side and jumps to the pits. So, there you go.
He's not a leading simulator like iRacing, he has to go to the pits. If he was in an inferior sim like Gran Turismo, he could just carry on. So he'll be cursing his luck that he's chosen something as fantastic as iRacing today.
Oh, so we got Neil De Backer still closing out, trying to open a gap up in the lead to Jan Curbs, 0.35 seconds. as they head down the start-finish straight. Neil goes in to the left, goes to the right. Jan follows him all the way down onto the run down into turn 1. They're going to be hard on the brakes, trying to get down into 4th gear. Round they go in the LMP1s, heading down into turn 3. The right-hander downhill. This is going to be on the run down to 5th there, Chris. I think I'm going to put my money on this. Is this Jan Kurbs going to have a go at Neil de Backer? He looks a little bit far back. He's half a second and not really closed. Actually, the gap's actually going the other way. It's opening. So Neil's managing to keep the first place there, Chris. 25 minutes remaining. It's going to start really kind of hotting up now, I would have thought, between these two. And looking at getting through the pit stops and then out the other side.
I think there's a bit of strategy there from Jan Kurbs. I think he's not looking at making the pass yet, although someone that might be looking at the pass, he's looking quite racy, is Diaz here. So we're going to see him move into turn 1. It might be a bit late.
Yeah, Diaz comes up into turn 1. He's going to look at taking the inside line. He's settled in behind the Ford of Charvet, going down into turn 1. Team IRR now. Hi guys, nice stream again as usual. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated to you. Diaz tucked up the back of Charvet. De Ligt and Lourenco is on another battle together. So we got Jan Kurbs, Neil de Backer, Joop De Ligt, Daniel Lourenco, and Charvet and Diaz. So battles from the lead across all 3 classes. This is going to get spicy. 24 minutes remaining. Go round the GTEs, both of them together. Lourenco's got to make it through. Take down onto turn 5. There you see DeWitt pitted on lap 18. Price is in the pits. Navarro at lap 8. So he's going to look, possibly might have to go again there, Chris, I think, for Navarro. And Carlos, unfortunately, is out. But as you can see down in the LMP1s, Carol Panetta, Firio Vanti, and Simnar all on lap 19. As we see, Said Bashoa take the inside line from Neil Leclerc. And that takes in to now 4th place, Said Bashoa. Look at last season's winner, Chris. He's looking racy again, but not. I suppose he's up 7 places. I was going to say not normally where we see him, because we normally see him sort of right at the head of the field, don't we?
Yeah, I think he was involved in some early race incidents, because he qualified in 4th and he was all the way down, I believe, in 8th at one point. So it's been a good recovery drive from Said Bashoa. And we've got 2 different leaders here. 2
different classes, 2 different lead battles. Diaz accommodates the move. Charvet takes the run all the way down into 14. He's going to make him wait. Here we go. This is Lourenco's chance.
Oh, and they're both pitting.
Diaz went in as well. Lourenco and De Ligt all went in the pit together. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out. And there goes in for the Jerome Charvet. Just carries on. 22 minutes remaining. Nobody else near him, absolutely flying. He's just got to put a qualifying lap in, really, isn't it, Chris? I think to get that, to try and open that gap back up again, to try and take the lead when he comes in.
Yeah, it's always impressed me, the drivers that on their in-lap and their out-lap, basically around the pit window, the drivers that can just, and Lewis Hamilton is an absolute god as Jan Kurbs goes in.
Yeah, Kurbs.
The drivers that can just switch it on for that extra bit of pace on their out-lap and in-lap to make the difference, they're so impressive to me, because you think, really, we're all driving as fast as we can already, so to be able to pump out just that bit extra it's incredible.
It's amazing, though, I think that's the thing here. Jill, he gave it Simna fanboy here. Simna is in 7th, has pitted as well. So he is now on a straight sprint for the last 21 minutes. He's got 2.85 seconds up to Francesco Panetta in front of him. So it's going to be interesting to see if Richard Simna can't close the gap. Obviously, their pit lap times, I won't give you their last ones because it was over 2 minutes, obviously, with the pit stops as well. So we are all, yes, as Mr. Chris Rowlands has time to type in YouTube chat and do a broadcast. Who said men can't multitask? I tell you. But there you go, Jan Kurbs. Yeah, Jan Kurbs has gone out of the pits now. Firio Vianti there is coming up the inside of a GTE. Joop De Ligt is, we're going to see Joop very shortly, I believe, heading round the corner. There he is. Lourenco's got the jump, Chris. Lourenco got the jump in the pits. Lourenco is out in front, so it'd be interesting to see their pit exit and see how close it was, if we can, Mr. Producer Spawn. Well, have a look and see how much Lourenco got it done by.
So, De Ligt was stopped for 22.4 seconds. Lourenco was stopped by 2.3. This is incredible.
Oh, no. Lourenco kind of squeezed De Ligt. into that wall that we see sticking out, and Delit had no choice but to back off and to come and settle in behind Lourenco. So Lourenco pulled an absolute stunning job there as we try and see over the wall. Here we go. Look, Lourenco leaves.
Oh, wow.
He takes the outside of Delit. And look, he just kind of squeezes Delit, and Delit's got nowhere to go because there is a wall just about there. And he's had to settle in right behind him, and away he goes. So that was an absolutely stunning move by Daniel Lourenco to take the lead in the LMP2s. 20 minutes remaining. There is Diaz. Have we had Charvet in yet? And is he got out? He's not. I don't believe he's pitted yet.
Neil de Backer is in the pit though, so the LMP1 leader is in pit. So we're about to see if Jan Curbs has got the jump on him there. Yeah, it's good from Lourenco. He must have been fuel saving like mad for that stint to get a whole second in the pits advantage over Delete. As I believe de Backer is on his out bit now, and he was on a quicker stop than Curbs. Curbs is ahead, I believe.
Curbs is ahead. Curbs is ahead of Neil de Backer after the pits. So Curbs got a lot better of a run. Here is Jan Curbs on the left. There is Neil on the right. Was it down on the run into the turn one? It was. Oh, he swept his nose off. God, Jan Curbs, you can imagine him in the car, absolutely celebrating the fact that he's literally just chopped off Neil de Backer's nose going into turn one. God, absolutely incredible. Now we have got these battles. Jan Curbs, Neil de Backer, Lourenco and Delit. And Charvet is the only one who's not pitted. Charvet and Pacho have not pitted at the top two of GTEs. Neither is Bishoa or Liqueur, but we know they're kind of out of sync a little bit. But here is Joop de Ligt trying to get back up. And now this is where we're going to see from Charvet. Is he going to peel off? He's coming up. No, is he going to go again? Yeah, well, just going down into turn 14, isn't he?
I think he's done already at least 2 laps more.
He can't take the pit lane.
I mean, the Ford, we're being told by Ford expert Sean Cranleigh-Swash that the Ford can last a bit longer on its fuel tank than the other cars. We'll see if that's an advantage, because of course really what Diaz is doing here is just a long undercut. But Charvet is going to be stopped for a lot less time because less fuel is going to have to go into that car, because he now will have done at least 3 laps more on this tank. So it could well be an advantage for Charvet, especially if the traffic turns out well for him. But we've still got plenty of racing to go even after that. We've only got 42 minutes on the clock. There's 18 minutes of racing to go still, and we've got battles for lead in all 3. This is mad, James.
Yeah, as I head down the end to turn 1, there is Jan Curbs. Neil de Backer's in the pits again.
Oh, yeah, possibly happened there. That's a real shame, because
what has we missed?
The battle's been amazing. Something's obviously happened.
Yeah, he's still in the pits. Take us through, Chrissy.
So we're coming around. Oh, that's just a bit of curb. I can't even tell what that is. I thought it was the kink to start with, but it's not. Oh, it is. Yeah, it was. It was coming around the carousel, and then to the kink, and that is a car. That car is toast. Oh. That's a real shame. Neil was having a fantastic race to be able to battle with Curbs, and he was battling with Cowlarts earlier. And now Curbs has got a nice easy win lined up for him. Let's hope I haven't cursed him. Although, Jake Carey will be hoping I've cursed him, because he is in second and has been running a very tiny race, but 30 seconds down.
Yeah, we have seen this before, Chris, where you have said that they've got an easy win, and I believe they end up inadvertently binning the car. So, come on.
At the end of the day, they're the ones behind the wheel, not me. So it's their fault, not mine.
Yeah, well, this is true. Charvet's peeled off now. He's got about 56 seconds out to Pacho in third. Pit lane time of about 53. So this is going to be really, really close. Whether or not he can get out. We've got third place. Pacho going past the kink. Is he going to be in? Because Diaz is coming around the last corner. He's going to be heading up over the hill. Oh no, he's stuck. He's there. Actually, he's a bit shorter back than that, because that was actually Bishoa who's got it in the pits in second.
Charvet's moving again.
Yeah, here we go. This is Diaz. He's got these now pushing down into second, because Bishoa went in, but I think Charvet's going to get out in front.
Close. It's going to be very close.
It's going to be close. There's Charvet there. There's Diaz, as you see, coming up over the hill in the background.
But he's got to get up to speed.
He's got to get it. Take it. Yeah, if we get these two LMPs, I believe that's Richard Simnar behind him. As he
that's going to cost him time.
He could have waited. Could have waited until the straight there to allow Charvet to take his line.
Simner's only 6 seconds behind Panetta, so he's going to want to try and catch that. And Fiora Viviante is only 4 seconds behind him. So Simner's, he is running his own race. He's entitled to try and make up as much time as he can. And they didn't come into contact. It's just slightly self-great. And
You've and Lourenco heading down into turn one. You've takes the line. Runs wide though. Lourenco comes back on the inside on the run down into 5. That is Lourenco back through. Sorry, down into turn 3. It's whether or not Lourenco held it going down into turn 5. I believe he did. But there is Fiora Viviante going past Diaz. That's going to help Charvet open the gap up a little bit. But Lourenco and Delit are heading around turn 14 again for another run down into turn 1. Is there any cars that can play into effect on the way down the straight? There isn't. So it's going to be interesting to see now. The gap is closing, but very slowly. 4-3, 4-4, under 4 now. It's closing quicker. But I don't think this is going to be Litzchance running down into turn 1. That's Lourenco. Still holding it, Chris. 14 minutes to go. He's got to hold it down to 5, really, for another lap to be stuck behind.
You have to be sensible, though, because you can see in these wide shots behind the car number 4 of Rui Quiros and the car number 3 of Owen Carroll. They are two very quick drivers, and they are both within 4 seconds of this lead battle. You don't want to get them involved with it. You want it to be a straight shootout between the top 2 if you're Lourenco or Delit. So they've got to pick their battles wisely. It's no point going too wide through this whole section. As you can see, Lourenco struggling a little bit with the rears there. He's getting a little bit of oversteer when he's putting the power down, but he's handling it all right for now. And yeah, that's just something you've got to keep an eye on. The tyres are just going to start coming towards the end of their life as we get to the end of the race here. And these guys have been pushing balls to the wall for 50 minutes nearly now.
Yeah, as you see there, the whole of the top 4 in the shot at the same time. Lourenco, Delit, Quiros and Carroll. There is Quiros behind, 1.65 now. The gap's closed up. It was out at 2 as these guys were heading down into turn 5. Is this Lourenco slowing them down, though? There's no, obviously, detriment to him. But this is bringing in Quiros quite rapidly. Chris is now back out 1.8, but the gap in to Lourenco and Delit has closed right back up again. Delit sticks behind him there. Round Canada corner as they're heading down 13A. Round that one, down across 13B. Down into turn 14, which is the last turn, and this is going to be another run down. The long start-finish straight, though, Chris, isn't it? It is a very long start-finish straight.
It really is, but again, unless you get a really good exit out of the final turn,
he's got it there, Chris. Yeah, look at Delit. He's tucked right in. He's got about another 200 metres. He's got to be looking at trying to get it done. Goes past the pit exit. Doesn't get it done this time. I thought he was going to. He's got to be looking now, maybe into 5 as he goes round 3. On the brakes, got to be looking at getting a better run out than Lourenco, heading down now into 5. This is the gap of 0.34 seconds. There is Carroll and Quiros in the background, catching these guys up. Heading down into 5, Lourenco in front, Carroll behind him. He's not got it done. That's going to be another lap he's going to be sat there for, Chris.
Yeah, but I think to an extent, they're listening to what we were saying, or rather they've come to the same conclusion. I hope they're not listening to us, because they should be concentrating. And it's well, they can listen back to us afterwards. I've tried to listen to these broadcasts in the middle of Gene's Bowl F3 races. It doesn't end well. It needs to be muted. I've got off track listening to Tim's commentary.
Yeah, I can't listen to anything while I'm driving apart from the engine noise. I'm very much like, please just let me hear it so I can see the chat.
You can see here, though, Diaz has caught right up to Charvet, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's coming down into turn 5. I even shut up my crew chief. Corbs has gone off, he's come back on. But this is the run down into turn 5. Diaz and Charvet heading down into turn 5. The Porsche and the Ford. The 29 car, the LMP. There's Raimondo Ricci behind him. Is he related to the other Ricky we've got in chat? That'll be an interesting fit. Oh, Diaz drifted like Tokyo Drift. Not the normal line round turn 6, and the tyre wear is going to be astronomical after that.
Yeah, and with the extra attempts, he's now going to try and get around the carousel at top speed. So that's he's going for the moves this time, though.
Looks at taking the inside line from Lourenco. Got the job done. Can Lourenco now stay with him? Round turn 1 to turn 3 to get the run down into 5. Lourenco's got to be looking at trying to get that better exit, get that car nose pointed, and on the gas you go, son. Running down into 5. This is Lourenco up the B, tucked up right behind Delit. Oh, Delit cheeky there, tries to use the LMP1 draft, doesn't get much of it. He gets pretty much a sniff. Oh, Lourenco's now stuck behind Delit for the next part of the lap. Unless anything drastic happens to Delit, going up, 10 minutes remaining, LMP2 still hotting up. Yan Curves is down in front, and the GTEs are hotting up as well. Have we got...
It's a very nice GTE driver. Blimey.
Yeah, that was, who was that in the Corvette? Was that Mark Van Tor who just kind of pulled out the way there? Yeah, I believe that was that might have actually been Marco Ricci pulling out of the way. So yeah, it was Mark Van Tor. So Mark Van Tor there literally getting out the way for these two guys as they head around the carousel, down through the King Kang entrance now. There it is. Lourenco lost a little bit of a gap there to Delit, but not enough that's going to really cause him much problem.
No, they're still so close together. They have actually managed to gap Kirosh a little bit. He's lost 3/10 this lap already. So that's bad for Kirosh. And Aaron Carroll is dropping off as well. So it just shows you the pace. And this is what happened to Curbs earlier with the off track. Let's see what happened to him on the penultimate corner. Oh, that could have been a lot worse. He's done well to keep that out of any walls, and he's lucky really that everyone that was fighting him is already out of the race, because that could have been lead losing amounts of time to where DeBacker and Cowlots were earlier.
Yeah. There you go. You've got the LMP2s, the two leaders still battling it out. 8 minutes 45 seconds remaining of this European Sprint Series round Road America. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys finish off. But it's looking like we see the Charvet-Diaz battle with very back close together again at 0.66. It's going to be interesting to see what they've been up to after we saw Diaz. Tokyo drifting it. Round turn 6, Chris. I don't know if I would have held that. I got to be honest. That probably would have been me spinning in a circle.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I are both reasonably good drivers, but the level of difference here is these guys are driving to the absolute limit of the car's grip and still going quickly. They're quite a few seconds far. I mean, I helpfully haven't driven these cars in a couple of seasons now, so I have no reference point, so I can pretend I'm quite quick. Unfortunately for yourself, you were racing yesterday.
Yeah, I managed to break. I got down to a 1:53.1. So I'm still about 3 seconds.
Could be slower.
Yeah, in the top split they're doing 1:50.4. So hey, look, let's look back and give me some credit. I'll probably double some of these ages. You know what I mean? Come on.
It's a long lap as well. So 3 seconds on Road America is a lot closer than 3 seconds around Austria. Something's happened to Lourenco. He's dropped down. He's had an incident.
Yeah, he's down into third now. Quiros is in second place. We'll have to see if we can have a look and see the pass move there made. What happened? Chris, run us through.
I think something already happened, because he'd already... Kirosh wasn't that close to Lourenco when we were checking a lap or two ago. And I think he's just been a bit spooked coming into Canada Corner and just not got the braking right. I wonder if he's perhaps maybe running out of fuel a bit early. After all, he was only stopped for 21 seconds, which is a shorter amount of time than most of the people around him. So perhaps he didn't put enough fuel in, or he made a bit of a gamble with this fuel.
Yeah, I think that's the thing now. If Lourenco has made a gamble, he is on fuel-saving mode to get to the end. It's going to be a difficult job for him if we can. You see Mark Van Tor, the sole remaining Corvette in the field there, heading right up behind Neo Leclerc. So it's going to be interesting to see how this battle pays out as they're heading over the start-finish straight at the moment, Chris.
Yeah, I actually think with Mark Van Tor, twice this race, we've seen him basically come to a standstill to give way. And you just think, I love that he does that. I'm the same. But you think he'd be well ahead of Neo Leclerc if he hadn't done that. And Charvet's got Diaz right back behind him again.
Right up behind, running down into turn 1. Charvet's led pretty much from start to from flag. From the start finish flag, from the start flag, from green flag, sorry, I'll get my words out in a minute. Is he going to lead to the end? But he has got Diaz tucked right up behind him on the run down into turn 1. No space there. Is it going to be 5? That Diaz is going to have a go at Charvet. He's got to be looking at trying to keep that forward. Steady as you go, son. Round turn 3. Down on the run down into 5 now. Is this going to be Diaz's opportunity? You see him on board now, tucked right up behind the Ford, 0.16 seconds gap. Heading down into 5 is not going to get it done. I think Charvet's got the door. Oh, he's heading around the outside. Heading around the outside. Is he going to be trying to? He's not going to take that line.
Charvet's got a bit of a nose there.
Yeah, Charvet gave him the space, but Charvet's got the inside line into 6. And then you got the LMP1. Is going to come and interfere in the battle. Heading down.
I think it's Jake Carey.
Yeah, down into turn 8, isn't he?
Who's just said on voice he's going to give them space, which is absolutely heroic of him. I'm a huge fan of that.
There you go. He goes right, as he goes out the outside of the carousel, Chris.
Well, he gave him space, sort of.
He gave him space. Unfortunately for Matus. Yeah, for Matus Scalia, he didn't quite get that space, did he? As Diaz drifted out to him and left him no room there apart from the grass. But Charvet's still now in front of Diaz as they're heading round the long straight down into Canada corner at the bottom. There it is. Hard on the brakes, down through the gears we go. Trying to get that acceleration out. Take all the much on the left-hand side, the curb as you can. Running through 13A and 13B, here is Charvet and Diaz. I think, Chris, this is going to be turn 1.
It might look like it, but I've been really impressed with Charvet's car placement on this lap. He's not defending, but he's just hanging his car just into the... He's doing it here as well. Ever so slightly moving out, just to sort of say, if you go for a move, I will defend it. Yeah. It's just going to put a little bit of doubt in Diaz's mind. It's not quite blocking. It's really intelligent driving from Charvet, and we'll just have to see if he can manage it for what I think will be another 3 laps, including this one. Jan Kurbs is halfway around the lap he's currently on, so we'll probably get 3 more from him, including this. So he's got quite a lot of defending still to do.
Yeah, we've got Snow Cone in YouTube. Well, that was fun. You have to tell us what your name is. There's, I believe, can't remember if you have before, what your name is. So, if you can, let us know who you are, so we can greet you properly. That would be absolutely amazing. As we see the lead battle for the GTE, Charvet and Diaz, 2 different lines going around turn 5. He's trying to get that run up the hill, isn't he? He's trying to take that line and just carry the speed round up into 6 to try and stay as close as he can up to Charvet through this tricky infield of 7A and the carousel. We're going to swap over now to Lourenco. We've got Owen Carroll tucked right up behind him. This is going to be another battle with 2.5 minutes left. We're going to have 2 more laps out of Jan Kurbs. There he is, the leader of the LMP1s, just gone across turn 1, going down into 3. We've got 2 minutes 21, so we're definitely going to see another lap. But here is that battle with Charvet and Diaz heading down, coming into Canada corner. That straight that we were talking about with the kink. And the driving line there, Chris, swaps from side to side, doesn't it, across the track?
Yeah, and we saw on the previous lap, Diaz was, if anything, he was too... Oh, we're going to go too wide now.
Oh, we're too wide in the 13A. Yeah, Charvet's had to give Diaz the space there, running down into the last corner. But does Charvet know he's got the long straight? He's looking... The ball got the power coming out. He's got to be looking at trying to get that gap back up. It's 0.56 and closing quite quickly, to be fair. Is this Charvet's opportunity? He's going to get 1 more lap. We know that. So will he hold it out, do you think, until the last lap, Chris?
Oh, I'll tell you in a lap's time. Carroll's got past Lourenco while we've been watching this. It's my sneaky distraction from my fence sitting.
There goes the lit on the inside. We go back to Owen Carroll and Lourenco. Lourenco runs wide, slow exit. There, out of Canada, is lost places twice through the whole race, doing that now as they're heading down into 14. There you go, that's Owen Carroll done on Lourenco there, Chris. Lourenco's lost 2 places now, doing that same line through that corner. He's got to be careful, isn't he?
I do wonder if there's damage to that number 2, but it looks fine from up here. But he's lapping a lot slower than he was earlier. I mean, that last lap was a 53.2. He's now nearly 3 seconds off his fastest lap time. Not that we would expect any of the drivers to be setting fastest laps right now, but he's a good second or two slower than the drivers around him. Roman Pierce behind is still doing 150, so Lourenco will be pretty pleased there's only 1 lap to go now, because Pierce would easily catch him if there was another 3 or 4 laps to go. But Charvet is being dropped by Diaz here as well.
Yeah, second gap now. Diaz has cleared him off. Diaz has cleared down now. He's on the run down in Canada corner. This is Jean-Philippe Diaz, 1 second ahead of Jerome Charvet, who's led from the green flag till about 1 lap remaining. Absolutely, it's got to be absolutely gut-wrenching for Charvet, because he has led the whole race. And unfortunately, it's allowed Diaz. So there is car number 3. That's Owen Carroll. Aruda's been off Chris on the run. This is the kink, I believe. Oh, there's down into Canada corner. Just doesn't get that car stopped, unfortunately, on the last, second from last lap, unfortunately for Miguel Aruda.
I think he's decided to call it a day as well, because he's the last of the remaining GTEs.
As Jan Kurbs comes around the last part of the track, 13B, he's got Simnar in front of him. Please don't hit him coming into the last lap of the last corner, Jan Kurbs, because that would be dramatic. Now, Jan Kurbs is your winner in the LMP1 for the ESS from Road America. Great job, Jan Kurbs, back in the LMP1 and back on the winning path, Chris.
It's the magic of qualifying. It's really helped Jan today, although I suspect he may well have won this race without qualifying. Although he was in the Porsche, so maybe that's why he qualified, just so he didn't get left for dust. Although Sam DeVitt in the other Porsche, he's finished 3rd, so maybe it's not a crap car.
Yeah, so we got you so we got...
Sorry, I do this to wind you up, and it always works.
I'm just not quite sure what to say. There are other cars available, guys, and if you got offended by what Chris said, please DM Chris Rowlands.
It's not James's fault at all. James wants a peaceful life, and I'm trying to ruin that for him.
Oh, last lap of the race, he comes up with something like that. At least that was better than the other week. We did it halfway through, and I was in stitches for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've got to work on lasting over an hour now.
Yeah, I know. We get it near enough to the end there, Chris. Come on, we can do this.
So we can talk about the race. Deletes actually had a very good race in the end, minus that one turn 1 punt, although Panetta's recovered quite well to 6th place, so I think he can be quite pleased with his overall performance there. But strong win for Delete, and Rui Kira should be, I think, quite happy with 2nd, although as the fastest over 1 lap, perhaps a little bit disappointed he wasn't fighting for the lead.
Yeah, here is Diaz in the GTEs. Finished out 2.5 seconds ahead of Charvet.
Wow.
Charvet's got to be absolutely... He led from the start all the way to the last lap, second to last lap, and unfortunately Diaz got through. Absolutely amazing races from these guys. They were all together all the way through. James Riley, great job. Well, much love to you. Thank you so much. But that is another week of ESS completed, Mr. Rowlands.
That was a really fun race. We've not had three battles for 3 classes in a while, and more of that, please. It was lovely.
Yeah, that was absolutely epic as well. So we'll wait for the results to come through. But as I say, guys, if you are here for the first time, please hit that thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on them bells for all the notifications, so you are first to know when TSS brings you all the live iRacing action throughout the week. So please do that. Okay, don't forget to do that before you leave chat. Much love to you. So we're just going to wait for the results to come through. Here they come now. So the winner of the LMP1 was Jan Kurbs by a huge 32 seconds. Jake Kerry in 2nd. Sam DeWitt, an absolutely incredible 3rd there. Owen Price was in 4th. Navarro in 5th. Neil DeBacker, Simon Carlos, and Luke Santos did not finish the race, unfortunately. So we'll move down into LMP2s. We'll wait for theirs to come through. Yup, Delit, after his first lap incident with Panetta, took the lead. He took 1st place by Rui Queiroz, 2.1 seconds. Owen Carroll in 3rd. Daniel Lorenko in 4th. Roman Pierce up an amazing 14 positions throughout the race, got 6th place. Richard Simnar in 7th. Luke Fioravanti in 8th. Romando Ricci in 9th. Hughes Palmeister 10th. Cesar Cabral in 11th. David Henga in 12th. Fabio Bassetti 2 laps down in 13th. Jean-Francois didn't finish the race 8 laps down. Neither did Michael Batuska, Thomas Died, or Mr. Stuart Bickley. And into the final class, GTE, Jorge Diaz got 1st place from Jerome Charvet, who led for the whole race, pretty much, apart from the last 2 laps. Gutted for Charvet. Ariel Pacho in 3rd. Saeed Bishoa up an amazing into 4th place, up 8 places, and Pacho up 13. Number man is Leo Leclerc. He's up 13 as well. Mark Van Tor, another one we didn't really see much of. He's in 8th, finished in 6th, up 8 places. That's absolutely incredible. Adam Cox in 7th. Miguel Arruda in 8th. Marco Ricci in 9th. Jake Wells 10th. And Jorge Carmo in 11th. Woohoo, says Mr. Richard Simnar. Happy with that. He says in 7th position, up 5 on the starting position, Mr. Simnar. So you plodded well through that race and made up 5 positions. Well done to you. Unfortunately, though, Mr. Stuart Bickley had a little bit of an incident. But here is the championship. Simon Cowlott's out in front now, though. The gap has been slashed to only 21 points from Jan Curbs in 2nd. Macca in 3rd. Luke Santos on 42 in 4th. Jake Carey up an amazing 7 places. He is in 5th. Daniele Pizzo in 6th. Neil DeBacca in 7th. Pasco Nelly's 8th. And Dominic Engleg in 9th. And Amber Hawkins rounds out our top 10. In 1st place in the LMP2s, it's been a swap with Owen Carroll taking over the lead from Mr. Stuart Bickley, who's tied for 2nd with Rui Queiroz. Hughes Palmeister in 4th place. Luca Papp in 5th. Marcus Deck in 6th, Fraser Williamson in 7th, Michael Romanidis in 8th, Ross Woodford in 9th, and Paolo Nunez in 10th. And Mr. Richard Simnar, you are in 17th position. You are up 12 places with 16 points. So well done to you, sir. And into the GTEs, Jerome Charvet still out in front on 43 points. Saeed Bishoa up 6 on 32. Look at that gain from Jorge Diaz. 36 positions on 31 points. Jean-Luc Denaya in 4th. Sven Haas in 5th. Philip Meyer in 6th. William Barry Vieira in 7th. Anton Petrudiev in 8th. Claudio Mack in 9th. And Lydon Lee rounds out our top 10. So now we go over to Chris's 1-sentence ending. Chris, how did you find the race in one? I'll give you a sentence this week.
Oh, I had one word, which was battles, but we'll go with battles and punts instead then.
Oh, battles. Okay, so we did battles and punts this week from Mr. Chris Rowlands. So make sure you're making note of all these guys as well, because it does change every single week. I'd like to.
There's a secret code embedded in them all as well.
Yeah, you have to put them together. As the first letter of the word makes up a very secret word, and if you can figure it out, our kind producer has you know said that you can come and take control.
I'm not sure he has.
No, I was half expecting him to go, "No, I have not," in my ear, but there, don't worry about that.
That's an awful impression of Sean.
Yeah, well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not good at doing impressions, and you know, I can't do Sean's voice. He's got that deep voice, and I clearly can't do that. So, guys, what has TSS got for you this week? Do not forget, we have got Jeans Bowl F3 with our very own Chris Rowlands. Are you taking part this week, Mr. Rowland?
I should be this week. I didn't take part this week because I didn't want to kill anyone, but Laguna Seca is a track that I know. Or scared is what Sean said in my ear, which is entirely correct.
So
scared of those faster drivers getting angry with me for ruining their race.
But it is Laguna, so anything can happen going into the corkscrew. And as I very much know from a previous F3 league, it can happen in that corkscrew. I think the wall was in front of me at that point. So we've got that coming up on Tuesday evening, guys, live about 9 p.m. on the Total Sim Sport YouTube channel. And don't forget as well, on Saturday evening, we have got the last final round of FTR, Mr. Rowlands. Where is that season gone already?
I know, and it's gutting. I haven't been able to be there to watch the last few races, and it's been a really fun series to commentate on and watch. So it's hopefully we can go out with a bang. But by bang, I mean excellent racing rather than big crashes. We don't want big crashes.
No, but we are at Road Atlanta. 4 hours Road Atlanta, guys. So be aware that's going to be absolutely epic. We're going to be live about 5 p.m. in the evening on Saturday on the TSS YouTube channel. Okay, so if you like endurance, you've got nothing on a Saturday night. Let's face it, none of us have. We don't really do a lot at the moment. So 5 o'clock on Saturday, guys, come and join us for the FTR 4 hour from Road Atlanta. It's going to be absolutely amazing. The last one of the season. So I cannot wait for that. So really, guys, then to round this out, all that's left for me to say is from me, Chris, producer Sean, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime.